Hello folks, this is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. This video is necessary because there's a lot of information circulating right now about the U.S. refugee program offer to Afrikaners from South Africa suffering unjust racial discrimination, according to President Trump. Listen, that group is yet to be defined. The program doesn't exist. A lot of people have been patient. I understand that. However, there are groups that are putting out information which is not accurate, or at least it's giving an opinion and not fact. Now, I'm not attacking either of these organizations, but I am going to make a point about two very quickly for you to calm down. Understand that the South African Chamber of Commerce USA, which is based here in the U.S., its mission, its purpose is to facilitate business ties and trade links between the U.S. and South Africa for U.S. businesses and for South African businesses trying to do business each way. That's their mission. Their job is not to help South African become a refugee in America. That's not their mission. Somehow people think that is their mission and they glommed onto them. They're now producing videos which are giving people the impression that your chances of becoming a refugee are quite limited. We don't know what your chances of becoming a refugee in the United States are because the program hasn't been published. However, the only guidance thus far has been from the president in his executive order. It's quite broad. We're just waiting for information on how that will actually apply. So again, not attacking the South African USA Chamber of Commerce, but they're giving you an opinion. Now, they've drug in lawyers, and they're offering opinions, but I've seen comments from some lawyers who clearly don't know U.S. immigration law and are saying things based on what they've read on the U.S. Customs Immigration website. And oftentimes, not just that organization, but a lot of people on social media are reading the first or second line of something, and they're running with that as if that's the fact. You have to read the whole thing and understand the whole process. But understand that U.S. immigration law, the Immigration and Nationalization Act that's there, that Naturalization Act, or Nationality Act, excuse me, Immigration Nationality Act, that law exists to facilitate refugee access and resettlement in America. Each country, each program is different. The South Africa case will be an in-country refugee program. You're not technically really legally refugees, but you're being granted that because of the persecution that President Trump believes that you're suffering. So we've had other examples of this. It's rare. It's not unprecedented. Cuba, Bosnia-Herzegovina, also in-country refugee programs. You're not really a refugee unless you fled the country of your origin and gone to a safe haven nearby, like Syrians fleeing to Turkey, then you become a refugee. So all this talk about United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees may or may not apply, unlikely to. Also, the funding through USAID or through the federal government to pay for refugee resettlement programs in South Africa doesn't affect South Africans. It has nothing to do with South Africans. That's for Somalis and for Sudanese who are fleeing from conflicts there and are resettled in South Africa. The U.S. taxpayer is actually paying them money and supporting their lives, which is bizarre to say the least, but that's how things are working. As far as this program here, also Solidarity has had a few posts in which they've said that the refugee resettlement program for South Africans is likely to be very constrained and limited to a small number of people. Well, I would ask them to refrain from making such comments because neither the South African U.S. Chamber of Commerce nor Solidarity Movement are willing or able to share with us whom exactly they talked to who told them that, because then we could actually assess whether it's true or not. In my view, based on my conversations with both parties and based on my assessment of what they put out there, they're sharing an opinion where somebody told them that it's possible. But we don't know until the program is pushed. So I also make a further note here. This is not in favor or against AfriForum or Solidarity, but their job is also not to get refugees to America. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is to support Afrikaners in the southern tip of Africa, and that's what they're there for. A lot of people take umbrage with that. That's your personal decision. I'm not telling you what you should do or should do, but I think it's highly unfair for people to attack the group because you want to leave South Africa when a lot of people don't want to leave South Africa because they don't line up with your interests now. You're angry at them. That's very unreasonable. They didn't come into existence to help people leave South Africa and go to New Zealand, Australia, UK, or US, or Canada. They came into existence to stand up for minority rights and also to help other groups in South Africa, including black groups, to assert their rights in South Africa. So let's be fair there. But neither the South African Chamber of Commerce USA or Solidarity have any inside information, and you need to stop panicking and take a deep breath because it's not helping your situation. It's not helping anyone out. I've been inundated with thousands of emails and messages, and it's insane. People freaking out, sending me the same thing over and over again from multiple people, telling me that, it's not going to happen. We're not going to go there. We don't know. And also, let's give you a little heads up here. I deployed in 1992 after the Gulf War to another conflict zone and was in a hostile fire pay zone and was supposed to be getting, credit for wartime service there. And I got paid for about 5 months under that on my deployment, close to 6 months. I came back. And then someone decided that no, even though it was listed as a combat zone, it wasn't really a combat zone. And so in order to save the government money, they took that money back. they took all that money back, and they took it at once. So I had not paid any federal income taxes for those 5 or 6 months because I was exempt on my entire salary at that time because I made so little. But I had to pay back all that money to the federal government. And they took it all at once. Fortunately, I planned for the future and saved because I didn't have a very high salary at the time. But we're talking about $648 per month for about 5 months. That was over $3 grand. And the hostile fire pay was taken back too. So yeah, actually, what a mess. What a mess. Anyway, it took months for that to happen. So it messed up my taxes for 2 years. So, 30 days, 32 days after this program's announced and people are freaking out or they're giving up on it, I would suggest that you take a little calm, relax. These things take time, and it will come to fruition at some point. If I were President Trump, I would be asking the State Department and Homeland Security, where is this program? I've told you a month ago, but then I'm not President Trump. Anyway, once again, folks, calm down. These people don't have inside information. Also, the Democratic Alliance apparently was here this past week, Emma Powell and Andrew Whitfield, and they claim to have talked to a number of groups, including Democrats and Republicans in Congress, foreign affairs committees in both the House and Senate, as well as the National Security Council, African Affairs Bureau at the State Department, and also to the White House. Their mission is not to help people get out of South Africa. It's quite the contrary. It's to support and governance in South Africa, and so they're not going to help you with that either. That's not their mission. Listen, take a deep breath. Lots of people are telling you lots of things. You don't have to believe anything I say. But I guarantee you the only thing that exists right now for these programs is the president's executive order and then a subsequent statement by the embassy mission in Hatfield in Pretoria, South Africa, in which they further clarified Afrikaners to be ethnic minorities, and that's where they left it. Nothing has come out since then from the U.S. government. Until something comes from the U.S. government, people are talking out their backside. They can offer opinions. I offer opinions and I have analysis, but I have a pretty darn good track record of analyzing things. So you can take it or you can leave it. That's your prerogative. I'm not here to get anything from you. I'm simply trying to share information as best I can. And I'm not saying anyone else has evil intent, but people are making statements not appreciating the impact of that statement and the panic it causes amongst South Africans who are desperate. And for those who want to leave South Africa, it's heartbreaking for me that you'd want to leave South Africa. It's such an amazing country, but I understand the situation. It's horrific for many people of all different groups in South Africa. For those who want to stay, bully on you, that's fantastic. I would never want to give up my country, and I appreciate your patriotism and your desire to stay. But again, for those who want to leave, don't rubbish them. And for those who want to leave, don't rubbish those who want to stay. It's just nonsense. Stop dividing your community and work together, South Africa. All right, thanks a lot, folks. God bless and have a good day. Cheers.